Hey, Vinyl Community, Jeff back again for part 2 of the record haul that I was given by a friend to me of his collection. And he's like, I don't collect records anymore. I don't need these anymore. Come and get them. Take what you want, leave what you don't. I probably should just grab them all, but there was a lot of things in there that I just wasn't super interested in. And so I thought I'll leave them behind. And again, as I mentioned in my previous video, the singer of my band also buys records. And so he probably, some of that stuff he may like because he's a little older than me too. He's in between me and the guy that I got him from, who's like 15 years older than me. This guy's like a little 8 years older than me, so he's like right in between. So he'll probably find some stuff in there that he'll like. So I just grabbed some stuff that bands that I know, that I'm familiar with, that I probably would enjoy listening to more than some of the other ones, and I grabbed them as hole fillers. So let's get back into this. This is part 2. I'm going to breeze through these real quick. Quite a few records. So picked up some Bad Company. Again, most everything in this collection was classic rock. I was kind of hoping, I'm like, well, this guy, you know, he bought music into the 70s and stuff, and he probably would have been into music in the 80s. Maybe he's got some 80s stuff, but didn't find much. Some of the 80s stuff, I did notice, as I mentioned before also, his wife went through the collection and she laid aside stuff that she wanted to keep. I didn't look through the stack that she had on her own, but I did notice like on the top was Hall & Oates. So there was some 80s pop type stuff in there. I don't know what she kept. He said she's a big fan of things like James Taylor and Jimmy Buffett and stuff like that. So I'm assuming that's what most of it was, but there could have been some 80s pop stuff in there. But anyway, I didn't even look. Again, some more Bad Company. Just had a few here from the Bad Company era. Ooh, almost threw that one everywhere. So yeah, got some Bad Company. Got a little bit of Grand Funk. Some of the early stuff. We're an American band. My band plays that. I guess the first Grand Funk album. And I said, yeah, it looks like somebody had some fun drawing. He says, it's probably my sister when we were kids. So she drew over it. Nice shaped thing. It's got tape all on it holding it together. So the fun stuff. And then you get into some James Gang. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. We keep talking. This is the one that's got Funk 49 on it. And our band keeps talking about learning that. We've jammed to it, but we just, you know, trying to not add so much classic rock to become one of those classic rock old guy bands. More James Gang, no? So, yeah. I have nothing by James Gang in my collection, so I figure I would grab some. And again, you could tell the covers are kind of beat up, but in most cases, the records are just really shiny, clean. Only a couple of them looked like they were kind of rough, and so I may end up passing those along or just, you know, living with it. Then I was able to finally get some of the early ZZ Top stuff because I don't have any of the early years. And so we got that. We got some live there. Sadly, we don't have them all, but we do have a few from the early years. So great stuff. The one and only Foghat album he had, I knew this would be the type of stuff that was in there. And since I have no Foghat, yeah, let's grab it. Some Joe Walsh here. So yeah. This has got Life's Been Good. Other than that, you know, I know who he is, but don't have anything by him. And so wasn't sure which album was the best one to have. He had one Guess Who album, so grab that. Funny, he had 2 Pat Benatar albums, and he had the one that I don't have. The only one I don't have was the only one I needed, and he had one of the other ones that I do have. So I was able to finish that collection. A little bit of Steve Miller Band, some fun stuff there. This is the one that's got, of course, Jet Airliner. Nothing jumps out at me beyond that. So, and then this one I grabbed only because, well, it's Steve Miller, but it looks really old, and I don't know anything from it. So I'm assuming this is earlier in his career when he didn't have any of the pop stuff. So I thought, well, this may be a cool experience because I am totally not familiar with anything prior to his, you know, more popular stuff in the late 70s, early 80s. One of the only Foreigner albums I didn't have, and he had it. I think I have a good majority of, he had Double Vision also, but I already have that. So he did have two albums by Foreigner. So this one still has the shrink on it. It's open, but cool stuff. One Todd Rundgren album. I believe this is, I know a little about him, and I believe this is one of the ones that people talking about. It just seems like it stands out as being one of the popular ones. I'm not sure. I don't know a whole lot about him, but it's the only one he had. I thought I'd take a chance and grab it. This was cool. Rossington Collins Band. I have both of the Rossington Collins Band albums. One of the ones I have of those two is really rough shape. I don't know which one it was, but I thought, well, this one looks really nice. It's a radio promo. The album is really nice. Maybe it's an upgrade to mine, so I went ahead and grabbed that. Cool stuff. He had one Dixie Dregs album. I thought, cool. I'd recently got 2 of their albums when they were just the Dregs, and so I thought I always would love to have some more of their stuff. So he had that. Some Paul McCartney Band on the Run, Paul McCartney and Wings. So yeah, a classic that has, great songs on it. So wanted to get that. There is another in here that I do not have in this batch. Okay. One Vanilla Fudge album. I thought, I like Carmen a piece, and so I would check this out. I have seen their stuff in the wild. This is old, but actually was in pretty decent condition, just kind of, rough cover. So I thought I would check out some Vanilla Fudge. He only had one Melody Hatchet, and it happened to be one of the ones I don't have. Yeah, believe it or not, I don't have that one, but there's actually quite a few of theirs I don't have. Have everything on pretty much on CD, but I just never have picked up everything on vinyl. He had one single Toto album, so I figure I would go ahead and grab that. So classic band, Hold the Line, of course, on that one. This is one he said, I thought it was meant to be like that. I'm like, no, Pink Floyd's A Wall is supposed to be white. Anyway, somebody had fun with this one. They wrote all over it. They wrote all inside it. But the albums were near mint. So yeah, K94, it's, I'm assuming these people are local. It says on the back here, this album belongs to, and it's got this girl's name, and this is FM 99, which is our local radio station. Brian was here. It's just got all kinds of, whoever owned this, they signed it. I don't know, fun stuff, but I figured albums are in great condition. Why not? One single Black Oak, Arkansas. Figured I'd go ahead and bring it home. I keep seeing their stuff. I keep thinking about it, but every time I kind of hear the samples of their stuff, I'm just like not super impressed as to how much I'm going to pay much attention to it. He had 2 Eddie Money albums. I only have really one, and he had the other one that I didn't have, so I went ahead and grabbed this one. Cool stuff. I figured, needed to fill that in. Then he had a couple of the early Eagles albums. I have Eagles Best of 1 and 2. I have a couple of their albums, but these 2 I didn't have, and I thought, I'll go ahead and get them. Desperado. Some of the early classic stuff. And yeah, believe it or not, I'm one of those weird people that never has owned a copy of Rumors. I thought, well, there it is. Time to grab it. And one that I'd never heard, Bare Trees. I don't know. Obviously, it's an earlier album. For fans of the band, I don't know. Maybe you love this album. I don't know much about it. But again, grabbing the unknown to check it out. Jeff Beck with Jan Hammer. Figured, cool, Jeff Beck, this would be great to have. No harm. It's a live album. I know I've seen it around. I just have never stopped to check it out. And then, of course, you got Jeff Beck, again, with Carmen a piece. I would thought, this would be cool to have. He said, yeah, that's a really great little combo band there. And I got to say, I just have never, I thought every Yes album, but I've never seen this one before. They all look so much alike, but this is an early one. And for some reason, it's totally escaped me. I'm not a huge Yes fan, so I'm not as aware of everything. But, this is like 1974. It's got 3 songs on it, because they're really long. And I'm just like, I had never seen that. So grab that. Oh, here's the other Paul McCartney Tug of War. So yeah, went ahead and just thought that would be a great grab there. He only had one Doobie Brothers. This is a live album, right? I'm like, okay, I still have lots of gaps in my Doobies collection. One Charlie Daniels album, I figured, why not? Devil Went Down to Georgia, still in the shrink, great condition, why not? Same with this one, Who Are You? I only have a couple Who albums. This one, again, still in the shrink, so great stuff to add to the Who album collection. I'll hold that one. One Mountain album he had, so I grabbed it. Hey, it's the one with Mississippi Queen, so why not, right? So I've had some of their albums in the past, and I guess for some reason they were in rough condition. I've passed them on. And then these 2 are the only 2 that really you would say, yeah, those are right up your alley there. He has a still in the shrink copy of Blizzard of Oz. That OG copy, the copy I have is the Walmart blue pressing that came out 2-3 years ago. So I thought an OG copy of Blizzard of Oz that looks to be in mint condition. I definitely was not going to let that sit behind. And then the one and only Kiss album he had, it is in immaculate condition. However, it has none of the right inserts, but the albums are in immaculate condition. It doesn't even have the inner sleeves right. It's splitting a little bit. It has different inner sleeves that have ads on them that are not. It's just the albums are right, but nothing else. There's no booklet or anything. But the only copy I've got of this is the modern 2014 reissue. So an OG copy of Kiss Alive in super, super nice condition, vinyl-wise. I'm like, yeah, I'm taking that. So great stuff. So there you go. A lot of albums. I got to find room for them now. A lot of great stuff, though. A lot of classic stuff. Fun stuff. It's nice, you know. I probably should go back and look through the ones that I left behind and see if I just arbitrarily left stuff behind. But for now, I've got way more than I really need. And so we're going to have fun trying to catalog these and put them away. That's it for this one. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you later. Rock on and rock hard.